Yes. What do you do about pests? Big pests, little pests, not just researchers who are coming around?
Really, that has not been a serious problem, and I can't really document or explain that completely. But the best try at that is with the use of rotations and with the use of manure has some balancing act to kind of keep things, everything in balance.
Mm-hmm.
And that no way am I saying that we don't have any pests, but there haven't been any crisis.
Mm-hmm.
One example in 1988 in the drought years, and the spider mites, that the spider mites actually came out of our pasture and went into a neighbor's soybean field on the right. And there was a soybean field of our own on the left. Mm-hmm. That they didn't seem to bother. Now, and I don't understand all this either.
No.
But it seemed like in this other field where there was compaction of turning is where the spider mites killed those beans first. So that field was sprayed. Well, on the, I don't know if we can make this all follow through, but on the other side of that field we had another soybean field. Mm-hmm. And the neighbors sprayed all their fields around here with airplanes for spider mice, and we didn't spray the fields. So there is something to do with balance, fertility, and that helps, you know, if the person's healthier, we get by maybe without catching every cold that comes along, and if the animal has more resistance, mm-hmm. So there's resistance in plants. The interesting thing in this third field, that we had a plot in there where we didn't have any potassium on. And out in the middle of that is where we had a spot where the spider mites were working. And
so it was out of balance.
Right, and it wasn't as healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And we could see that there were more weeds in that field. The beans didn't grow as fast, and so there were spider mites. So, so we needed some potassium, see? Mm-hmm. So when you need some, you have to put it on some way or another to get things in balance and get the health in the soil, to get the health in the crop, and to make that all work together. So back to where we started, really the pest issue, the insect diseases, has not been the big problem.
You had mentioned you had gotten yourself some new kind of cattle?
These are called RX3 composite cattle, which is they're 1/4 Hereford, mm-hmm. 1/4 red Holstein, and a half red Angus. So that takes the milking ability and the growth rate of the Holstein, mm-hmm. and the easy keeping qualities of the Hereford, mm-hmm. and the meatiness of the Angus, and puts it into a composite. And well, we are now, our other cattle, we do not castrate the bulls, because I think that's foolishness, mm-hmm. because people want lean meat, and castration makes fat meat. Mm-hmm. But the next thing is to get a young bull that would be 12 to 13 months of age and grade choice.
Yes.
And so with this breed, we're going to come awful close to getting that done, so that we've got a young product and lean, mm-hmm. and with good fast growth rate. Mm-hmm. So it's a balance of not trying to go to any extremes. I've been through that. I used to be on judging teams and place this steer at the top of the class because he's the fattest, lowest,
yes.
fattest, short-legged, thickest, mm-hmm. over the top, and then we've gone to where some of the cattle look like they should be in a horse class. So they're somewhere in the middle. Yeah. And we tried to do this, well, I've been through this with the hogs also.
Oh, have you?
Yes,
okay.
I've been through the extremes.
And the big ones and those.
And the little ones. And so along with the hogs, I'm talking about balance, mm-hmm. with the system of a Cargill system of outside individual farrowing houses. That's
isolates,
all in.
Is that what they're called?
Yes,
mm-hmm.
all in and all out. And not using antibiotics. Mm-hmm. We use egg lime on the floor, mm-hmm. to raise the pH to balance the organisms.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do not use any disinfectants. We vaccinate only for what we need. And that's been working for 11, 12 years now, and not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but no major crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's some troubles we get into agriculture when we try to get that last nickel
Mm-hmm.
out of everything and push, and we're so close to the end of the side of the cliff that it's awful easy to go over the side and lose 50 cents or $5.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to just to get up close and be content.
I read where one of your losses had to do with the bad winter you had here several years ago when you lost some of your pigs, and that you had gotten around that by installing heaters in your...
Okay. That was in a nursery, and that has evolved since that time. That we have learned that we tried to put in gas heaters, and that's very expensive, so that had to go.
Mm-hmm.
So then a friend, a personal friend of mine, told me about hanging burlap sacks across the front.
Just plain old burlap sacks?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And there was quite a technique of how to do that, because pigs would chew them up. So
Sure.
you had to put new pigs in with new sacks. You couldn't put old pigs with new sacks.
And you found that out the hard way, I suppose.
And then a friend, or our first herdsman, came up with the idea of using truck mud flaps across the front.
Those big, heavy...
Black things,
Black
yes.
things,
Yes. And that's been the best one so far. The pigs can't destroy them.
Right.
And they learn how to jump through between those flaps over the bedding board, and they've got a foot of bedding for them to lay on.
Mm-hmm. So they act as insulators?
Well, it keeps the draft off.
Mm-hmm.
So then
it's
they'll lay
lubricated.
out and won't pile in the back.
Which is what
Happened
before.
that
Mhm.
year. So they're comfortable, and it keeps that cold air out, but still enough ventilation out the top that the moisture, and we'll have natural circulation. It's dry, and they just lay in there nice and warm, and it can be 20 below zero.
Mm-hmm.
So we learned some of those things the hard way.
So out of a problem, you found a solution, an innovative solution
Yes,
to
problems can be opportunities for change
Mm-hmm.
to the better.
I read where that was one of your basic beliefs, and I can certainly hear it in what you're describing, what you do here on the farm.